In every moment of your life, there's a current, unseen, silent, yet always moving. Most people fight it. They swim against it, thrash in frustration, drown in resistance. But a few, the ones who understand life's rhythm, they flow. More than 400 years ago, a man named Miyamoto Musashi mastered that flow. He wasn't just a warrior, he was a philosopher forged by fire, solitude, and battle. He wrote the Book of 5 Rings, 5 scrolls that revealed how to master both combat and consciousness itself. Among them, one scroll stood apart, the Water Scroll. Because water was the element Musashi used to describe the ultimate mindset. Water doesn't resist. It doesn't boast. It adapts, it reflects, it becomes whatever it touches, yet loses nothing of itself. Strike it, and it yields. Contain it, and it takes shape. Block it, and it finds another way. That was Musashi's secret, the mindset that wins every battle, both on the battlefield and in the human heart. He saw that a person's true strength isn't in how hard they fight, it's in how fluidly they respond. You see, strength without flexibility breaks. Ego without awareness collapses. Control without flow becomes chaos. So today, we dive deep into Musashi's Water Scroll, to uncover 6 secrets for building the ultimate mindset. These aren't ancient relics of a forgotten era. They are timeless codes of human resilience, blueprints for mental mastery, clarity, and peace in an age drowning in noise. Because in a world that glorifies resistance, the real power belongs to those who flow. Musashi's first secret was simple, yet most people will never master it. Water adopts the shape of its vessel. To him, this wasn't poetry, it was strategy. A warrior who clings to one form, one technique, one fixed identity, is already defeated. Because the world will always change faster than your expectations. When Musashi entered battle, he never repeated a pattern. He studied the rhythm of his opponent, the breath, the tempo, the hesitation, and flowed around it. He didn't resist what was coming, he moved with it until it revealed an opening. Formless adaptation means you stop demanding the world to match your plan, and start shaping yourself to meet reality as it is. It means you become the kind of person who can lose everything, and still not lose yourself. Think of your own life. Every plan you make eventually meets uncertainty. Every comfort you hold is tested by change. You can either harden and break, or soften and bend. Water never fears change. It embraces it. And because of that, it endures everything. That's the first secret, be like water, shapeless, responsive, awake. Because when you stop fighting the current, you discover that you are the current. To Musashi, that was the true beginning of mastery. Adaptation wasn't survival, it was sovereignty. It meant knowing that no situation could control him, because he could become whatever the moment required. In the stillness of that understanding lies the first doorway to the ultimate mindset. Musashi believed water was the perfect metaphor for the mind. When it's calm, it reflects everything clearly, the sky, the trees, even the smallest detail. But when it's disturbed, all reflection disappears. In the same way, when your mind is agitated, by fear, pride, distraction, or desire, you can't see truth. You react blindly, swinging your sword at shadows. That is how most people live, constantly reacting, never observing. Musashi understood that clarity comes from stillness. Before every duel, he didn't rush into motion, he waited. He watched. He felt the rhythm of silence between himself and his opponent. In that silence, he could see. Not with his eyes, but with perception, a deeper awareness that goes beyond logic. He once wrote, "If you fix the mind on one thing and think you can see everything, you will miss what's right before you." That was his warning to the distracted mind. When you're caught up in one emotion, one expectation, one obsession, you lose your wider vision. And a warrior without vision walks into his own defeat. The second secret of the Water Scroll is therefore this: keep the mind clear, fluid, and still, even when chaos surrounds you. When insulted, don't rush to defend. When challenged, don't react immediately. When uncertain, don't panic. Let the surface settle. Let the water calm. Only then will reflection appear. Because clarity doesn't come from noise, it comes from stillness. And once you master that, no storm can cloud your perception again. Musashi's stillness wasn't passive. It was preparation, a kind of spiritual patience that made his every move inevitable, precise, unstoppable. He didn't fight from emotion. He fought from awareness. And that's where true power begins, not in aggression, but in control. Control of your thoughts. Control of your reactions. Control of your inner current. When you reach that state, life itself begins to mirror you. The world stops feeling like an enemy, and starts moving with your rhythm. The calm mind wins because it sees everything clearly. It isn't blinded by fear. It isn't drowned by chaos. It simply flows, forward, unbothered, and unstoppable. That's the second secret Musashi left in his water scroll: to control the world, first calm the waters within. Musashi once wrote, "In all things, rhythm is key." To him, rhythm wasn't just a musical term. It was the heartbeat of life itself. Every battle, every conversation, every rise and fall of a person's life follows a rhythm, a hidden pulse. Most people move against it, forcing their will, pushing when they should wait, speaking when silence would have saved them. Musashi knew that the warrior who feels rhythm, who can sense the flow of time, commands it. He understood that rhythm isn't just movement, it's timing, knowing when to act and when to stay still. The weak act out of impulse. The wise act in tempo. When you understand rhythm, you no longer fight life, you dance with it. You know when to advance, when to retreat, when to strike, and when to simply breathe. This is what separates mastery from madness. Think about your own life. You rush to achieve, to speak, to move, but sometimes, silence would be your greatest weapon. Other times, hesitation costs you everything. The key is rhythm, sensing when the world's pulse aligns with yours. For Musashi, rhythm was the difference between chaos and control. He observed the cadence of his opponent's movements, the breath before a strike, the subtle shift of weight. And when the rhythm changed, he flowed into it, faster, slower, but never forced. That's how he won, not through strength, but through timing. The third secret of the Water Scroll teaches us this: learn to listen. Learn to feel the invisible tempo that governs your relationships, your struggles, your opportunities. Don't force the flow, enter it. That's how water wins, not by speed, but by rhythm. In a world full of noise, the man who moves in rhythm with life doesn't just survive, he commands destiny itself. Most people think emptiness is weakness. Musashi knew it was the opposite. To him, emptiness was not the absence of something, it was the potential for everything. A cup can only be filled if it's empty. A sword can only strike if the hand holding it is not trembling with thought. He said, the mind must be free from all confusion, so that it reflects everything, like water reflecting the moon. In the Water Scroll, emptiness represents the ability to let go, of fear, of attachment, of the need to prove yourself. Only then can you move freely, act decisively, and think clearly. When your mind is full, of doubt, of overthinking, of anger, you lose clarity. You act from noise, not from wisdom. But the empty mind, the still, spacious awareness that Musashi cultivated, is like an open field. Anything can arise. Anything can pass. Nothing owns you. Nothing defines you. Emptiness is what allows you to adapt. It gives you freedom from ego, the greatest obstacle in battle and in life. Think about the times you lost control. You reacted, not responded. You spoke when silence would have been power. You moved from noise instead of awareness. Musashi teaches us that emptiness isn't about detachment from life, it's about full presence within it. It's when you stop identifying with thoughts, fears, or desires, and start seeing them. That's when true mastery begins. When you can stand in the storm, mind like clear water, untouched by chaos, that is emptiness. So the fourth secret of the water scroll is this, because when the mind is empty, even a single drop of truth can fill it. And that drop becomes wisdom, pure, powerful, and eternal. Musashi fought over 60 duels, and never lost. But his victories weren't about brute strength. They were about precision. He once wrote, "If you know the way broadly, you will see it in all things." To Musashi, mastery was not about perfection, it was about alignment. A perfect strike didn't come from muscle, it came from clarity, timing, and intention. In modern life, people chase power, they want dominance, status, recognition. But Musashi reminds us, power without precision destroys itself. It's not the strong who win, it's the focused. Precision means knowing exactly where to place your energy, your time, your attention. It's knowing that one deliberate movement is worth more than 1,000 wasted efforts. When you waste your focus on everything, you weaken your mind. When you sharpen it to one clear purpose, you become unstoppable. Every sword stroke Musashi made was measured, deliberate, and silent. He didn't swing wildly, he waited until every element aligned, the enemy's breath, his own center, the stillness of time. Then he struck once. And that was enough. The fifth secret of the water scroll is this. Focus on precision, not power. Refine your intent, master your rhythm, and let your actions speak without noise. Because the calmest mind is the most accurate weapon. And in a world that celebrates excess, clarity is the rarest form of strength. There's one final lesson Musashi's water scroll hides, one that transcends all others. It's about fear. Musashi faced death countless times. Yet fear never controlled him. Why? Because he didn't fight fear, he flowed with it. Fear is not your enemy. It's your compass. It shows you where you haven't yet mastered yourself. Musashi knew that fear loses power when you stop resisting it. When you let it move through you, like water carrying away debris, you return to your center. And from that center, nothing can break you. Fear feeds on rigidity. But flow dissolves it. So the sixth secret is this, when you walk into uncertainty, don't try to be fearless, try to be fluid. Let the fear exist, let it pass through, and keep moving. The warrior who can walk with fear as his companion becomes truly unshakable. Because his calm is not the absence of fear, it's the mastery of it. In the end, Musashi's water scroll wasn't just about fighting battles. It was about transcending them. He taught that life itself is a duel between awareness and illusion, between flow and resistance. Most people lose not because they're weak, but because they refuse to see clearly. If you understand water, you understand yourself. Because life, like water, demands movement, adaptation, and calm. The warrior who becomes water becomes timeless. Unbreakable. Infinite. That's the essence of Musashi's water scroll. To flow with life, not against it. To move with rhythm, not force. To reflect with clarity, not confusion. To act with precision, not pride. To embrace emptiness as strength. And to walk with fear, never run from it. These are the 6 secrets. Not of violence, but of vision. Not of war, but of awakening. So, when the world overwhelms you, when people test your patience, when chaos storms through your peace, remember this, be water. Flow around obstacles. Reflect without reacting. Adapt but never lose your essence. Because those who master flow, master life. Musashi didn't just teach warriors how to fight. He taught humanity how to live. So forge your inner calm. Move like water. And when life throws you into battle, you won't fight. You'll flow.